Hi everybody and welcome again. We are in the Parashat of Korach. What can I tell you about Korach that you don't know? I think you know it all. First, Korach was a Levi. He was a Bechor as well. He was the firstborn. And he was not happy about the choices that Moses make. Even that Moshe Rabbeinu was not making those decisions on his own. He was ruled by God. We know Moshe, Eved and become a loyal servant to the Creator, and for that reason we know Moshe Rabbeinu didn't come from any idea on his own. Everything was commanded by God. What exactly happened? It says the parashah starts Vayikach Korach, Korach took, and of course the commentary are busy with the first word, Vayikach. Because we know within the first words is the seed, is the keter for everything else. So if it's the seed and keter for everything else, we have to look into what Vayikach. Of course, Unculus call doesn't translate the word. Usually Unculus is a commentary which is a translation of the Torah to Aramaic. But here and there, you can find the meaning of the true meaning of the word by the translation. Unculus used vayet palag, is separate, pilug, palag. What exactly went there? I mean, what exactly happened then with Korach? He was tzaddik, he was a Talmid Chacham, rich, he had it all. I mean, how can a person like that fall so low to a level that in the end he died in the terrible earthquake that swallowed his body and the body of few of the people from the tribe of Reuven? Why Reuven? Reuven is the firstborn, as well, as Rabbi Avraham said. So, all the firstborn in the desert, I don't know if you know, all the firstborn, basically the Levi changed the firstborn. It was supposed to be the firstborn who served. So the Levi changed it, and Aaron, the old brother of Moses, the Bechor, became the Kohen Gadol. So that was the machloket, that was the argument. Because Korah says, excuse me, I'm firstborn too. Why am I a Levi? Why am I not a Kohen? So that's the argument. That's the argument. Logically, he wasn't wrong. But the Torah and faith and emunah and follow God and follow the Creator, it's not going by ethics of just between people. It's going by ethics of the Father, meaning connection to our Father, God, the Creator. So we need to explain it, because it's a deep subject, and we're going to focus only on the first verse, on Vayikach Korach. Once we understand the first verse, we understand the whole parashah. Once we understand the first verse, we know what to do this week. Once we understand the first verse, I hope, wish, desire, want you to share this lecture with as many people as you can and sit next to them until they understand the first 10 minutes of it, or 20, because it's quite important to share this specific subject globally, whatever it is in London, or Russia, or Ukraine, or Saudi Arabia. You gotta share it. New Zealand, you gotta share it. Argentina, share it. Translate it and share it. Hawaii, make sure you share it. As many people as you can. So I'm going first to the Zohar Korach in Tfus Yashan, old print, 176 Amud Aleph, in the end of Amud Aleph. It say in verse Gimel, Bore, come and behold. Aaron was a Levite too, because of the tribe of, same tribe as Moshe Rabbeinu. Aaron Yemin. Aaron is right column. שהוא חסד. הלוויים הם שמאל, Levi's are left column. So the only right column that existed at that time was Aaron. That's it. Levi's are left column, which is Gvura. Korach, what Korach want to do, say the Zohar, רצה לעשות חילוף ימין ושמאל. He want to the right and left to change. שרצה הכהונה, where does it come from? He want to be priest. He want to be the Kohen. Again, priest is terrible translation. But he want to be Kohen, which translates into priest. שהוא ימין, you want to be the right column, שבשביל הלוויים, שהוא שמאל. and he was a Levi, which is left column. Mishum ze ne'enash. You want to know why he was punished? The Zohar get to the point of it right away. He was punished because of that. But Lord, not only that. That's first sin. Second sin, Lashon Hara. He spoke bad about Moshe Rabbeinu. That's Lashon Hara. Ne'enash, punished for that too. Rabbi Yehuda said, Asmon nechlal tamid bayamin. Left column is very important column. Because left column, if you know, before the Tzimtzum, the left column is the strongest desire. Without that desire, the light will not come down. So we look at the left column as a most important part of the system. But, nechlal tamid bayamin. But you have to include with the right column. Because left column by itself, what we call light of wisdom, can burn, can create darkness. We have to include with the right column, which is sharing. We call it in Kabbalah, light of wisdom, light of mercy. Everything needs something to reveal that. Electricity, light of wisdom, need to be revealed by the copper wire. Okay? Everything around us as a vehicle that carry it. Okay? You need a phone, that's the light of mercy, to carry the wave that come into your phone, light of wisdom. So light of wisdom by itself has no value. So the Leviim are the left column. That's why in the temple they used to serve. They used to serve the whole idea of Kohanim. That's why what left from the Bet HaMikdash is only cleaning before Shabbat. That's why even if you have a lady who cleans the house or a guy who cleans your house, make sure that you are cleaning a little bit before Shabbat. Because that's what left from Avodat HaKohanim, Avodat HaLevim. Mishum ze ne'enash, v'lo diber Lashon Hara, said, Rabbi Yehuda Amar, small nechlal b'yamim, Rabbi Yehuda said, it's always included with the right. Korach want to exchange, tikkun shel lemala ve'lemata. He want to change the tikkun from above and below. He want the Levi to be controlling, which is left. And he doesn't want them to be included in the right. Which makes sense, logically, because left column is stronger than right column. Those of you who study with me in the shofar, because left column, that's the energy. That's when you bring the energy down. Right column is to sweet the judgment. Mishum ze ne'evan bimala umimata. That's why they damage him or they punish him from above and from below. Below it's the earthquake, and above, I don't need to tell you, he has to stand in the gate of Gehenom to welcome people. They couldn't put it in Gehenom, in hell, because he studied Torah. He was Talmid Chacham, gave tzedakah, did everything. So you have to be outside of Gehenom, welcome people and make sure they do tshuva. Ma'u v'ikach, continued the Zohar. What is it he took? לקח את שר הארץ, he took a bad advice. כל הרודף אחר שאינו שלו, what is wrong with receiving an advice from the wrong people? Whoever chasing, whatever not belong to him or to her, הוא בורח מפניו. It's always when you want something too much, after Tzimtzum Aleph and Tzimtzum Bet, just to remind you, Tzimtzum Aleph, the first Tzimtzum meaning that the first vessel said, I don't want to receive. So now you can only receive for the sake of sharing. Tzimtzum Bet, you cannot even receive even if you do it for the sake of sharing. You have to do it only for the sake of sharing. And that's the new concept. So whoever chasing something that not belong to him, whatever not belong to him, running away from him. Would you like to end up with what's not belong to you to be yours? No. What is the problem with manipulation? That all, whatever not belong to you, end up with you. לא דלה, מה שיש לו נאבד ממנו. Whoever is jealous and chasing something that don't belong to them, whatever they already have and belong to them, disappear. Korach was chasing something that don't belong to him. Shelo ibed, he lost everything that belonged to him, and whatever he chased, disappear. Korach halach b'machloket. Korach chased with an argument, with a disagreement. Machloket is chelek mavet, the letters. Cannot have machloket. Ma machloket archaka v'dichui. What is machloket? What is disagreement? Sometimes husband and wife are fighting. Very dangerous. You can disagree, but in a nice way. Like Shammai and Hillel, or Hillel v'Shammai. So you can have this kind of argument, but you cannot have the argument of Korach v'Adato. And I heard something beautiful from Rabbi Michael Maor, who said, why is it written מחלוקת קורח ועדתו, not מחלוקת קורח ומשה, like it say הלל אל שמאי, is because Moshe was not involved in it. Moshe was elevated to such a high level that he saw Korach is a tzaddik. So it was nothing wrong with Korach. ומי שרוצה לדחות תיקון העולם, whoever want to push away the תיקון העולם, meaning the correction of the entire world, יהיה נאבד בכל העולמות, will be disappear from all the world. מחלוקת היא הרחקה ודיחוי של השלום. מחלוקת is when you push and kicked out the peace. Peace. Peace is the foundation. Peace, shalom, salam. All language, peace is the goal. ומי שחולק על השלום, whoever is damaging the peace or preventing peace from happening, חולק על שמו של הקדוש ברוך הוא. Is dividing the name of God. That's why we say Shabbat Shalom when you come home. Every person who come home on Shabbat has to say Shabbat Shalom. Even nobody's in the house. Say Shabbat Shalom on the inter. משום ששמו הקדוש נקרא שלום. Because the holy name called Shalom. Peace. בואו נראה, continue זוהר, אין העולם עומד אלא על שלום. The whole world, the foundation of the world is Shalom. It's peace, it's harmony, is unity. כשברא הקדוש ברוך הוא את העולם, when God created the world, לא יכל להתקיים. Going back to what I said before. In the first creation, מידת הדין, לא יכל להתקיים. It could not exist with מידת הדין, with the attribute of judgment, עד שבא ושראה אליו ושלום. Until it brought peace. What is the peace? What is the peace? Mixed with the right column and create a center column. ומהו? What is the peace? Shabbat. That's why we say Shabbat. Shalom. What brings shalom? What brings shalom between husband and wife? What brings shalom between partner? Shabbat. You do Shabbat, you have shalom bait. What if you fight about Shabbat in shalom bait? Sad. Sad. Do Shabbat. The Shabbat is within it the cure for shalom bait. שהוא שלום, עליונים ותחתונים. ואז יתקיים העולם. Then the whole world exists. על כן מי שחולק על השלום יאבד בין העולם. Whoever preventing peace from happening, say the Zohar, will be diminished from the world. But of course we still need to explain what's going on. So there is a book that my son Yehuda got me. It's called Imre Pinchas. Imre Pinchas say about Parashat Korach, Piresh Rashi, like this. It's in the Gemara, מסכת ברכות, עמוד י"ט עמוד א'. תלמיד חכם שעבר עבירה בלילה. ציין מסכת ברכות, תלמיד חכם, meaning somebody who studied Torah well, that commit a crime at night, אל תערער אחריו ביום. Do not doubt the תלמיד חכם in the daytime. שמא עשה תשובה. He might did a תשובה. You found it? מסכת ברכות י"ט עמוד א'. אלא ודאי עשה תשובה. Tell us, אמרי פנחס, I have to say the name. It's the Torah coming from Rabbi Pinchas Bikoritz. Those of you who have been in his grave, or his Talmidim, Rabbi Pinchas Bikoritz from Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov, Ukraine. Okay? Ukraine needs us to say something from Ukraine. So every Talmid Chacham, let's say you see a Talmid Chacham, God forbid, steal something or scream at his wife, you know that he did tshuva at night, in the morning is a tzaddik again. Qoraḥ היה Talmid Chacham. Qoraḥ was a Talmid Chacham. לכן דחה אותו משה עד למחר מטעם הנ"ל. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu say מחר. Moshe Rabbeinu could deal with the situation now. He know Qoraḥ is doing something wrong, deal with him. I say can't, because it's Talmid Chacham. He know that tomorrow he will be a tzaddik again. אלא שאיתה בזוהר, יצא in the זוהר, חלק ג' very דפוס ישן, קע"ח עמוד א'. יצא in the זוהר, דבערב דחוש בנה יקחון לילין דבכל לילה ולילה. That you should be acknowledged, you should be included within the people of the night, עד לא ישקט ולא נעים מעבד, חושבנה מעובדא דאהבת כל היום יומא. A person at night have to think about all the wrong thing he did toward people and toward Hashem. ויחום מנהו ויהווה רחמא לעלאוי. And he has to do tshuva for that, and then a mercy dwell on him. Korach היה ניאור כל הלילה. But Korach was awake all night. How come he didn't do tshuva if he's a Talmid Chacham? That's a question, a great question of Rabbi Pinchas Bekoritz. וקורח היה ניאור כל הלילה. But what did he do all night? You want to know? הלך אצל ישראל לפתותם ולקח לא עשה תשובה. He was busy going person by person to go against Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why he couldn't do the tshuva. So what we learn from Rabbi Pinchas Bekoritz, we learn why Korach couldn't make it to do a tshuva. But still, we don't fully understand what exactly happened. This is Korach we're talking about. It's not a regular person. So I'm going to bring now the Ramban in Nun, Ramban Nachmanatis, okay? And it say like that. The Rambam tried to understand why Onkelos come up with the idea of Palag. Well, what is the idea that Palag? Palag meaning pluga. Pluga means a tribe, a different, like in the government, different party. This is Palag. So I'm going to skip into the answer. אמרו במדרש, מדרש רבה, עמוד י"ח ט"ז, ויחלוק, וידבר, ויצב קורח, אינו נאמר ויקח. It doesn't say he have an argument, it doesn't say מחלוקת, he said ויקח, he only took. מה לקח? זה רמב"ן. What did he took? לא לקח כלום, he didn't took anything, אלא ליבו נטע לו. He said his heart took him. אמר הכתוב, מה יקרח ליבך? What was the heart take you? הוא כמו שפירשתי. ואונקולוס תגן פלג. So אונקולוס say is separate. פתר העניין לא על השול כמנהגו, בקורות רבים כתגן דברי קורח. על פלוגתה דקרוח. כי הוא מזכיר העניין בתרגומו. ורבי אברהם said, ויקח קורח, רבי אברהם said, קורח תוק, ואחרים אמרו כי דתן, why took דתן ואבירם, why took all those people? Because they were the firstborn. So again, so I'm trying to go into the Rambam here. He first make introduction, and then I'm going back to his conclusion. ואמר רבי אברהם, כי זה הדבר היה במדבר סיני, כאשר החלפו הבחורים. Say what I said before. I said before because I read it before from the Rambam. It's not my idea. It's the Ramban idea. Okay? So the argument, it was about the firstborn. And he was jealous, say Tanchuma, in Korach say, in Tanchuma, Midrash Tanchuma, he was jealous of Aaron. And Datan and Aviram came after him. And they were not arguing anymore about the firstborn because they knew it was given to Yosef. So still, we see that the argument makes sense. That's a question I have for you. The argument makes sense. Orachaim said, that he took himself out of the group, and it said Vayakumu. Yakumu meaning they stood komas kufa. They stood like straight in front of Moshe Rabbeinu, like they are better. And איך נשתתה? אור החיים said, איך נשתתה לעשות הדבר הזה? How can he be so stupid that the whole Israel will kill him? We talk about not regular person or regular rabbi. We talk about neighborhood rabbi or Gdol Ador. It's more than Gdol Ador, Korach. You need to understand who he was. לא יכול להיות. And Or HaChaim said, first you need to know הוא his father, בן יצהר. פירושו אותו בן יצהר שהוא גדול בשני האחים הבאים. So if we look at the Levi as three brothers, Yitzhar was the oldest, so he was Ben Yitzhar. There is a Ben Keat. Keat was the best child of Yitzhar because they carried the Kodesh HaKodeshim. Ben Levi, which is the most important of the tribe because they were the one who were not included in Maaseh HaEgel, in the Egel. So what went wrong? Say Orach Chaim. Say everything about what he's saying makes sense. Logically makes sense. And he brought people with him so his point can be strong. And Orach Chaim choose to say that. דע, כשברא השם את האדם, when God created the person, he created within him everything. When he sinned, all the neshamot fell. Until the nefesh of Avraham came out, ונתלבנה, like libun, become better. Through the 10 test, because if you want to change, you have to go to test. And then the negativity was dumped in Ishmael. Then Isaac came out, and nitlabbna ba'akedah, through the binding of Isaac. It was mitlaben. Mitlaben meaning is like when you're burning the metal before Pesach, so the chametz come out. ונתברר הפסולת בגבורת האש הוא עשיו. And the negativity came to Esav, and the good came to Yaakov. Then Yaakov came out. Perfect. As it says in Zohar Kadosh. Shufre de Yaakov, Shufre de Adam. So this Yaakov has 12 branches. Perfect. One of them is the Levi. ענף זה הניף 3 ענפים. This Levi has 3 branches. גרשון, קהת ומררי. 3 son, גרשון, קהת ומררי. קהת, and קהת give 4 branches. Amram, Yitzhar, Hebron, ועוזיאל. וענפי יצהר הוא קורח. From Yitzhar is Korach. And so when Korach want to become a Kohen, the branches of holiness of the roots of his soul got damaged. Whatever was amazing, destroyed. First Korach, which we'll call pure, קורח טהור, בן יצהר, שמיר לעולם כצהריים, יצהר, קורח בן יצהר, צהריים, צהריים mean afternoon, that the light was like afternoon for קורח, but now after the damage, no. בן קהת שהמכה שילה של כל רואה, דורבנותו, his grandfather קהת, that מקהת, שינה מקהה meaning the opposite word of sharpening. So he make the,
Dull.
Dull,
D-U-L-L, dull.
D-U-L-L, dull. So Keat was mak'eh. He put the teeth of anybody who studied Torah into dull, meaning he make them not as sharp as they are, because he was so great. Ben Levi, the grandson of the Levi, Levi mean to escort, ללוות, escort. מיום לידתו לקדוש ברוך הוא, that is escorting God wherever God is going. And now when the branch is being damaged, which is Korach mean karcha, kachan become bald, no light there, then it's damaging everything all the way to the top. So instead of the Tzohoraim, Ben Yitzhar, Tzohoraim meaning the light of the afternoon, now it's hot like the afternoon, boiling. Okay? Kehat, so becoming in bed, להכות שיני מולידיו. לא זו בלבד, אלא גם שורש הענף הראשון שיצא מיעקב, של נפש קורח. Everything got damaged. Now we know why, because Orach Chaim asked a good question. He said, why you have to say, ויקח קורח? It's good. Why you have to say ויקח קורח? בן יצהר, בן קהת, בן לוי. Why? Why you have to mention the whole names? It's not nice. They were good people. Well, when the grandson makes some damage, then his generation before that also get affected. From here we learn the importance of saying Kaddish after your somebody die in the family, after the parents die. It's important to say the Kaddish, or to do mitzvot, or to do siyum of Masechta, or to donate Ner Tamid for them, or to donate the Torah, or to donate the parochet in a synagogue where they're using it. Actually, you got to do something for them in the first year, by the way. מאוד חשוב, but the first year, to do something for your parents or for somebody who in family, because whatever you do in the עולם הזה is משבח אותם לעולם הבא. Let's say I'm studying now, my parents are next to me, whether you see them or not. They get benefit. At that moment, whatever they have to go through, they take them out and say, hey, listen to your son, he's just teach Torah. I want you to see that he's doing the willing of God. So it's very, very important. Last thing, before I'm going to explain the difference between ethics to spiritual ethics. So I'm taking it to Sfat Emet. Every time you get confused, you go to Sfat Emet. Zohar HaKodesh. Sfat Emet also bring the Zohar, like we did here. Sfat Emet said, the Zohar HaKodesh, Korach halak al shalom. Korach was disagree with the peace. The Ita Mau Shabbat. You bring back, because Sfat Emet, those of you who never study Sfat Emet, 80% of the book is about Shabbat. Sfat Emet believe Shabbat. If you ever been in Poland, you land in Poland, it's less than an hour, go to his grave, then go back to the airport. It's half an hour. What is Shabbat? The name of God. Because God called peace, and Shabbat called peace. Because the whole chayut, the whole livelihood is going from one place, called shalom, called peace. ששלמות הכל בנקודה, הכל מהשם יתברך, המחיה הכל. Everything comes from one nekuda, from one dot. What is that one dot? The creator who create livelihood and the life everywhere. And that comes from Shabbat, comes from shalom. והיא תקודשה ברוך הוא, לא יתיר כוסה יקרה, עד עבדה ברזה דאחד. We say, the pray keraza, the raza. Those of you who don't say it, you should say it every Friday. And if you read the whole pray, say beraza de'echad ve'u be'shabbat. Raza de'echad u de Shabbat. The secret of one is the Shabbat. So every time we talk about the one, the unity, the shalom, what is shalom? What is peace? Unity. Unity. There's no border anymore, as John Lennon sing. No border. That's echad. That's one. Where do you have it? In Shabbat. John Lennon didn't know it. Shabbat. Shalom. שכל הנבראים עולים ונכללים בנקודה זאת. All the creation include within that one dot. שנקרא רזה דאחד. Secret of one. שהיא חיות פנימית שבכל הנבראים. This is the livelihood, what keep us alive within us. We have that little dot that has to be connected to that dot every week. ובשורש הכל רק נקודה אחת ונקרא רזה דאחד. We call it the secret of one. ופירוש דבר שמשך האחדות תוך המעשה וימי העבודה ומלאכה. So within every day that you go to work, your teaching is your job, advice is your job, dentist is your job, everything you do is part of that original form. כל רזה דאחד. This is one dot. או כמו שנאמר לעשות את השבת, למשוך הערת השבת לימי המעשה. When we say לעשות את השבת, to make the Shabbat, what does it mean to make the Shabbat? During the week it's called ימי המעשה. It's the day of action. It's the day of work. It's ימי המעשה. On Shabbat, it becomes the seed of all ימי המעשה. ויש ללמוד מכאן וחומר, ולא יטיבו. וכל שכן ששום אחד בישראל לא יוכל לקרב עצמו בלי ביטול לכללות ישראל. You can never get closer to עם ישראל if you don't have a ביטול. If you don't cancel your identity. שעל ידי זה יוכל לבטל ולהיכלל בשורש חיות הכל. How do you become one? How do you become one? You have to cancel yourself. If you put sugar within the tea, and you can still see the sugar, at palag, separate. Sugar is a party, water is a party, tea is another party. When you put all of them together, you have a nice cup of tea. Those of you who drink with sugar, let's say. Mitarvev, it's become one. It's become an all new entity. But when you create separation, lack of peace, lack of shalom, baya. What about if you disagree? What about if you disagree? Let's say you are part of a spiritual organization that they have problem. They steal money, they rape women, and they do all kind of thing. You're supposed to stay there for the unity, for shalom, for shlemut. It's okay, the raping, the killing, the stealing. You have to know? No, have the shalom. Because stealing shows that there is a separation of this place. Stay away from that. It's not about the wrong ethics at that place. It's about the idea of, is it separation or it is unity? What about the mafia? If you listen to me, the mafia, within the mafia, everything is unity. The act of the mafia is all about separation. They take from people, they scare people. So you cannot use in the name of unity to do everything which is not unity. Can't. You're not allowed. I was once in a place, what people today call a cult, that I was supporting it because my idea, what I thought, it's all about peace, all about shalom. They preach, love the neighbor as thyself. That's what they used to teach me when I was there, 30 years ago. They told me, love the neighbor as thyself, but hate everybody that is not in this room. That's what they taught me. Wrong. Love the neighbor as thyself is, the chance is with everybody, not just in your class, not just within the people within you. Otherwise, don't love the neighbor as yourself. Yeah, where is the unity? Where is the peace? Where is the love the neighbor as thyself? When you see the leader eat with a plate with gold, yes, you have to give respect to the leader. Of course you do. Of course you should. But the leader should not feel comfortable with that. Should not feel comfortable. Should announce it. Say, guys, girls, we have a problem. But maybe you're jealous from the leader and that's a separation. It's true. But that jealousy was caused by the leader wanting to be somebody. That's why, today somebody asked me, said, Eliyahu, what do you think should change in the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi movement of Judaism? I said, the Ashkenazis stopped teaching with accent. Even it's a memory of the past and blah, 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 blah. And the Ashkenazi should hide the payers a little bit because there is only 3% Orthodox Jew, Ashkenazi in the world. It's not a lot. That means the rest of the Jew are not even coming close because the clothing is foreigner to them. The language is Yiddish accent. Nobody understands what's going on there. It seems like somebody has some hot potato stuck in their mouth and they're playing with it. Nobody understands. That's Ashkenaz. On the Sephardic side, Sephardic is about, feeling. Feeling is good. But feeling also you can get hurt very easily. And then you got to be careful of how you approach the Torah. The main part of the Torah is to bring people in. So whatever you Sephardic, Hasid, Persian, Portuguese, bring people in. You want to keep the Masoret? Good. Ask the student, and they feel shalom, shlemut, circle with you, one with you. It's all about teaching the Torah. It's about making the doors open for everybody to walk in. Otherwise, we're going to end up with 10% people understanding Kabbalah and Torah. And then it will be 90% will not even get closer until they disappear. And then the 10% will die, and then we have nobody. Like the study of Rav Ashlag, the study of Sulam, study of Malot Islam, study of the Ari. The people who are teaching it out there are not a lot. The people who really understand and teaching it are not a lot. We are in the middle of training And hopefully by next year, few teachers, few rabbis will be able to teach it on Vital. So just pray for us that it will work. So going back to שפת אמת. להיכלל בשורש חיות הכל כנ"ל. כבר נודע כי מחלוקת קורח, the argument of קורח, שרצה שכל אחד כפי מדרגות, קורח עבודתו, השם יתברך. קורח came up with a great idea, by the way. Great idea. He said, why don't we make it equal? No more leader. No Moshe, no Aaron. You worship, and you're good. You think it's a bad idea? I think it's a great idea. Democracy. Right? Everybody's for democracy. Democracy. Great. יזכה לו לעצמו. ולא כן היה רצונו יתברך רק להיות כלל ישראל ולהם כהן גדול אחד. There is one little problem, my friend. One little problem. Is that you cannot even see. You know what's the problem? There is God involved. God didn't want it this way. He want to make a Kohen Gadol, similarity of what God is in heaven, like Michael the angel. He want the Kohen Gadol to be the important person. He wanted everybody will be connected b'yachid ador, to find one person in the neighborhood and the generation and this to teach and get connected to him. That's what Hashem wants. בעבודת כל אחד יהיה בטל להיכלל והכלל בפרט הנ"ל. And everybody cancel themselves with the worship and the spirituality to be connected to that person. And that's why he say, Korach says that, ואמר כל העדה קדושים. He say all the tribe are holy. ובזוהר הקדוש כהן קדוש לויטור. But Zohar said, it doesn't say כל העדה קדושים. Zohar never say that the group of people, the Israelites are holy. He said only Kohen is holy, but Levi טהור. Levi is pure. כי קדוש הוא מתחילתו. קדוש from the word holy, meaning from the beginning. Meaning he was born קדוש. That's Kohen. טהור בא מעבודתו. When you are טהור, when you're pure, it has to do with how much you work on yourself. לדחות הטומאה. To push away the impurity. מי ייתן טהור מטמא. והשם יתברך בחר באהרון. But God chose Aaron. להיות קדוש. He said that person is holy from the beginning. Who created him? God. מרחם הוא וזרוע עד סוף כל הדורות. God created a soul that cannot have judgment on other people. That's how I want to Kohen. That's how you know if the person is a real Kohen or not a real Kohen. Sometimes you see Kohanim with a harsh judgment. They're not Kohanim. Somebody, the great-grandfather stole the name. A Kohen is Rahman. Kohen cannot help himself. He's Rahman. He's merciful. ואין זה מעבודתו. It's not because he worked on himself. רק במה שנתן לו שבתברך. Is what God gave him. כל כך בספרים על עבודת מתנה אתן. ולתכם שמרים. ולדיהם נמשך קדושה לכלל ישראל. And because of that, through the Kohen, there is holiness for עם ישראל. And for that reason, Moshe Rabbeinu say, "V'Aaron ma'u." That's why he say, "What do you want from Aaron? Ma'u, ma'u is nobody." כי כל שבח אהרון שהיה מוכן לקבל השפעות הקדושה בני איזה שינוי. He say he's different, but ma'u, he has nothing to do with it. God made him this way. Or we say in Parashat Menorah, "Vayas ken belo shelo shina." When he make the candelabra, he did whatever he been asked. לא לשתף כוח עצמותו. He didn't get involved, just what he was told. Because he knew he's not special, he just was built that way. Which is bitul, which is absolutely cancel of his identity. So Korah was jealous. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu said, it's not enough that you have a special job to purify yourself. That's why he was jealous. But if he only knew that nobody allowed to go to the holy job, only if God creates something within that, he will understand and believe that he has to be cancel himself for Aaron. So Sfat Emet is raising something tough, raising something incredible, about logic and ethics. From the ethics point of view, don't you want everything to be equal? I mean, you saw what happened 2.5 years ago in the street when some people believe that they should have Apple Store in their house, bags, money, ethics, right? I mean, it's not fair. I don't have money, he and she does. What do? I steal it from them. No, you can't. You have the rules of God and the rules of society. If you start talking about it's not fair, you're going to end up like Cain. You're going to end up like Korah. Also, Cain said it's not fair to God. What do we do? What do we do? I'm bringing another section before I make my point. I'm reading in Parashat Be'ar, Zohar Be'ar, Dfus Yashan, Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, page 111, Amud Bet. And it say, Kili Bnei Israel Avadim. The Zohar remind you here, we are servant, we are slave, nothing more. The Israelite. מצווה לעבוד בכל מיני עבודה, במקדש, ולחוץ במקדש. Supposed to work the temple, in and out. עבודה. What is the עבודה of today? We don't have temple, תפילה. להשתדל אחר מצוות התורה. To change the mitzvot of Torah. All of this is called work, like a servant that tried to do whatever his master wants. Because we are the slave that get out of Egypt. Why they are slave? Because I get them out of slavery in Egypt to make them my slave. And our job, what is the slave supposed to do? Say Rav Ashlag, Eved הוא סוד המתקן אורות החוכמה שבשמאל, כי בסביבת חטאו של אדם הראשון, ירדו האורות והכלים דהרת חוכמת הקדושה, נפלו לקליפת מצרים. מה זה עבד? A servant is fixing whatever went wrong. It's a servant. Clean, fixed, the same thing with spirituality. שבסיבה זו הוכרחו ישראל להיות עבדים בארץ מצרים. That's why the Israelite is to be serving in Egypt. Because all the sin that Adam did fell to Egypt. And Bnei Israel was supposed to fix it. And when God took them out, now they have to continue the tikkunim. They have to continue the fixing. We need to understand it. How do we explain it to a regular person? And again, whoever takes some of pieces of this lecture today, and I hope my team will be able to cut piece and piece of that lecture, of this lecture. It's have a lot of information that is important for the world as we're seeing it right now. The world needs this lecture today because the world is functioned by ethics between two people. The world is not functioned by the ethics of God. And I'm reading now from a book, Ma'ut Hadat U'Matrata, that soon, hopefully in Elul, we start translating it into English. It was put together by Rabbi Avraham Brandwein, the son of the Admor Brandwein, Rabbi Yehuda Tzvi. So what is in this book? It's commentary on Rav Ashlag book, Matan Torah, Gift of the Bible. And first, what he does, Rabbi Avraham Brandwein, he takes a section from Matan Torah. אין המטרה מבטיחה לעוסק בה שום התעלות למעלה ממסגרת טבע. When you put yourself a purpose, society purpose, it's not going to elevate you above nature, כי עסק על פי שיטת תורת האתיקה, according to ethics, נתמך על יסוד של בשיאת חן מעיני הבריות. When you do ethics, and it's all about ethics, is there a better word than ethics? No, only ethics. Where's ethics come from? It don't sound like English. Is it English? Ethics? Sound Greek. It's only based on how people are going to like you. So when you base your life on ethics, you want people to like you. ודומה לשכירות המשתלמת לבסוף. Similar to a job you're doing. Greek. I was right. I had the feeling it's not English. It's Greek. ודומה, what is it in Greek? Etike. So ethic is a Greek word. ודומה לשכירות המשתלמת לבסוף. So when you're chasing ethics, it's like you work for somebody to get money in the end. ובהתרגל לאדם לעבודה הזו, when a person gets used to that type of job, לא יוכל להתעלות במדרגות המוסר. You cannot have musar. You cannot have true ethics, because you're only looking for the money. You're nice to a person because you get paid. You say thank you for the candy in the shul after bar mitzvah because the old man gave it to you. So you go to the kid and say, please say thank you. Is this ethics? Yes, but you're getting a reward, which is the candy, which is the money, which is the validation, which is the recognition. זה רב אשלג. כי כבר הגילו בעבודה משתלבת בסביבה. That person, that individual is already used to the idea of doing something good and I'm getting something in return. Now, Rabbi Avraham Brandman. Let's see what he writes. כי הבסיס הזה נתמך על גורם חיצוני. This foundation is based on external thing. דהיינו ציבור. What is the external thing? Majority of people. Am I doing on time? Okay. לכן אינו יכול להשפיע על זיכוך הרצון הפנימי של האדם. For that reason, once you depend on people, you're no longer capable of doing things for yourself, for your character. Your character can only change. Your character can only change if you are doing things spiritual. But if you're doing it for people to like you, you're not changing. ועוד כי אם ייווצר מצב של היעדר הגורם החיצוני של תמיכת הציבור, what if the people not supporting you? הרי אז יפסיק את מעשיו. Then you not continue doing it. לכן העבודה עבור עושר החברה, for that reason, the work toward the happiness of society, על ידי תמיכה, through looking by being support, ממציאת חן בעיני הבריות, by being like and approve and validate with the eyes of society, אינו כוח מספיק חזק מתמיד ודינמי. It's not enough dynamic and forced strong, לספק לעובד את הדחף והמניע, to give you enough support to do it anyway, לעבוד למען אושר של החברה, to work for the happiness of society. וכן אין בה את הסגולה, there is no סגולה, there is no goodness, there is no spice in it, לרומם את האדם מן האהבה העצמית, to elevate the person with the selfish love toward myself, ולעלותו לאהבת תורה של השפעה, and to elevate the person to love other people just for the sake of sharing. וכאשר השיטה עומדת על בסיס רעוע, when the foundation is unstable, meaning you only care for what people like you after you do the good thing, ממילא נופל כל הבניין. Then the whole building will fall. So that's why you see a person doing so many good things and amazing and amazing and amazing. But why you doing it? Qoraḥ, why? Why? Why you are right? You are right, it's not fair. You are right, it's not equal. Qoraḥ, you're right. But why? Why you need Datan v'Aviram Qoraḥ? Why you need all people? Why? Why you need to be liked by them? Speak to God. Say, Hashem יתברך, Hashem יתברך, אני לומד תורה, I am Qoraḥ, בן יצחק בן קהת בן לוי, I am study Torah. But Hashem, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm jealous of Aaron. That's the true, honest truth. Me and God. I'm jealous. קשה לי. It's hard for me, God. Go to the boss. I do it many times, and I'm not even the dust that Korah step on in the desert. That's what Rav Ashlag talk about shalom, shlemut, completion, peace. And continue Rav Ashlag bringing, continue, I think it's Rabbi Avraham Brandman, even it looked to me like Rav Ashlag style. I think it's Rav Ashlag. עולם בחטא אחד חטאה האומה. The nation had a crime. והשם יתברך לא יסלח להם. God will never forgive them. זה רב אשלג. והוא כי כל העבודה הזאת היקרה וניסה שהוא ההשפעה לזולתו. Everything that you see people doing for the sake of sharing. שהחלו לעבוד בה. Everybody should read מתן תורה or listen to my wife lecture on מתן תורה. If you don't study מתן תורה, רב אשלג said, you can't truly understand this חוכמה. You have to study Matan Torah 1,000 times, 2,000, 5,000, again and again. Just read it. After studying Matan Torah, then go and do Mahut Adat. First Matan Torah, it should be like one book, then second book is that. Every Kabbalist who studied Kabbalah said, without מתן תורה ומהות הדת ומטרתה, you cannot fully understand a lot of Zohar and Kabbalah. But מתן תורה is a foundation, and I hope you're really reading it. And I hope it exists on Sefer, if I'm not mistaken, soon. And soon, hopefully, Deb and me can take on ourselves to really bring it out to the people, you know. שהחלו לעבוד בה, צריכה שתהיה לשם יתברך. When you do something, say Rav Ashlag, you have to do it for the sake of Hashem, for the sake of God, not for the sake of society and people. ולא לשם האנושות. If those of you, as Rav Ashlag said, say, I want to save the world from global warming, going green, what else? Unity, this life matter, this life matter. Wait. What does God say about it? If you do it for the sake of humanity, you are a failure already, like Korah. ומתוך שעושים עבודתם, שלא לשמוע יתברך, because those people doing the work, not for God, לפיכך אין להם זכות קיום מצד הטבע עצמה. Then nature doesn't want them. Nature want to get better. Nature, the ocean wants less plastic. But why? You have to connect it to Hashem. כי ניסה נא ודמה בדעתך, נסה נא ודמה בדעתך, כל אחד מהחברה הזאת היה חרד לקיים מצוות השם יתברך, בשיעור קדוש ואהבת את השם אלוקיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובמאודיך. If everybody will follow God, to love God, as it says in Shema, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your domain, then everybody will worry to fulfill the need of his friend according to love the neighbor as thyself, as God commands us to do. So God has to be the purpose. God has to be the purpose. דהיינו שהעובד היה מצפה לעבודתו זו לחברה היא תוכל לדבק אל המקור של כל ההיבט והטוב וכל הנברוח, והנה אין ספק שבמשך שנים מועטות היו עולים מאושרם כל ארצות התבל יחד. כי אז היה לילד אדם לנצל את תוצאות החומרים הגולמיים. רב אשלג is giving us the secret of peace in the world. If we do it for the sake of God, and we say, I have to love the neighbor as thyself, then we gather all the vegetables, all the tomato, globally, all the cement, all the goodness, and we start sharing with one another for the sake of God, so everybody will be fair. Then it's working. But if you do socialism or democracy for the sake, I'm giving you cheese, now give me bread, that's not God involved. כי אז היה לידם לנצל את אוצרות החומראים הגולמיים אשר באדמתם העשירה, היא העברית שלהם, והיו באמת למופת לכל הארצות וברוכי השם יקראו. We understand that Qoraḥ basically came up with a great idea, but that great idea is not enough. You have to have God involved. And I would like to finish with the Arizal. רבי אייזק לוריה שר הפסוקים, ויקח קורח. The reason I finish with that, because the Ari take us to all new level. We know that everything is going back to Cain and Hevel. Hevel, after Korah died, those nitzotzot were spreading. The good things in Hevel was 37, like Hevel. So it went to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the A of Moshe. The 308 nitzotzot of Hevel, spark of Hevel that were not good, they went to Korah. So Korah and Moshe Rabbeinu were completing each other. And I think 308 is Gematria Korah. Yeah, it is Korah, as my son Michael told me. ואחר כך נתרברה בו גם כן, מבחינת הרשע ברוחו של קין. After that, unfortunately, in Ibur, the bad thing of Cain came to him. In a way, it looked bad. But the other way, it looked like he could bring the Messiah and finish the whole tikkun. All what he had to do, not to want. It's a difficult thing. ואז דאבד בן העולם כי יוסיף רעה לרעתו. So what he took, say the Ari, he took that negative part of Cain. Cain also was jealous from heaven. וזה רמוז, אז רז"ל בדבריהם, שלקח מקח רע לעצמו, that's why the רז"ל, say the Ari, or רבי חיים ויטל, that he took something, and so he said to himself, wait a minute, the reason I'm under Moshe Rabbeinu, because I'm carrying the bad side of Evel, and Moshe Rabbeinu carry the good side of Evel. And that's why I cannot be the leader. So now when he took another level, why he took Cain. Why Cain? Cain is older. And now he say, I don't want to be in your domain, Moshe Rabbeinu. So the idea is to understand that. And the Ari continue, the generation of the desert, they all were branches of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe tried to tell Qoraḥ, hey listen, they are my branches, they are my people. Do not do that to them. And Moshe Rabbeinu tried to teach him that if he will go against Moshe, it's not that Moshe hate him. Moshe said to him, tomorrow we'll deal with it. But he didn't want to listen, and for that reason the Ari said in the end, כולם הם ענפים שלי. All the people in the desert, they are my branches. שאתם קמים עליי, you're standing against me. צר לי עליכם. צר לי עליכם. I feel bad for you. על הרעה שבאה עליכם. You're going to suffer. ואינה מליבי, trust me, it's not from my heart that you will suffer. ורצוני, it's not my desire. אלא שאתם גורמים רעה זו. You caused that bad thing. עליכם בעל כוחו. I cannot do nothing to prevent it. כי לא מליבי. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu say, not for my heart. So now we fully understand, for the first time I think I ever teach that, fully understand מה זה ויקח קורח. We only discussed one verse today in the parashah, but from different angle. Today we learn how to study truly the Torah. You take one verse and all the angle of Chachamim, and you cook it with different spices to truly, totally understand it. Please repeat it and use it to teach others, because we need to pass this message in those days that people looking for ethics of between one to a person, but they don't include God. May this week will be a week where we find peace with one another. Thank you, Toda Rabah, and you have a wonderful week.